This is the best part about it. She may leave you before you even get married. Then you got nothing to worry about, right? Do I really want to go to, OCS? Do I really want to go down the infantry pipeline? You know what I'm saying? If the answer isn't a resounding absolutely. All right, folks, we got a good one today, man. We talked to an individual, man, high achiever, Northeastern degree, just got picked up for Army OCS after getting denied. We have an in-depth conversation about a lot of things, man. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I hope my guy John makes the right decision for him. As always, we building champions for life, man. Hey, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did, man. As always, check out the masterclass over there at jakeswig.com and the land navigation class. They rolling. Enjoy.
I got offered an OCS contract after getting denied 4 months ago. Out of nowhere, I got a phone call. This was 4 days ago now. I got a phone call. Hey, if you're still interested, we now have an OCS contract for you. And I was, over the last 4 months, a lot has changed since I initially applied. I started my own online personal training business, which is relatively successful. And in conjunction with that, I am a area manager for a retail gym, like a chain gym. So I'm kind of, and I just moved into an apartment and I just got engaged. So a lot has happened over the last 4 months. I have people in my life telling me, you're going to be successful in the path you're on now. Don't even worry about it joining. And then I have other people, telling me you should definitely still join. Great opportunities. Obviously, the military, especially as an officer, can provide you with certain, things that, but my current situation wouldn't, such as, retirement after 20 years with a pension.
Well, I mean, let's start right there. Chances you doing 20 years are about fucking zero.
That's the thing too, right? Like I could do 6 and be done. So I guess, and the way I see it is in 6 years from now, will I end up in a better situation going the officer route, or in 6 years from now, if I continue on the path I am now, will I, look back in 6 years and say, well, I'm thankful I didn't do that.
I mean, that's like asking fucking somebody if they're Notre Dame's, right? Like, I mean, how many people are you in charge of right now?
I'm probably in charge of, at any given time, like 15, 20 people.
Okay, so that's the difference. Like I tell everybody, the reason you go in the military is for the leadership experience, right? In 2 years from now, you'll be in charge of 120 people.
Right.
Broke people, young people, you're going to be in charge of a lot of people, all right? If it's a money issue, right, I tell everybody, like, if you're setting yourself up for business, you better be able to set the business up that it doesn't need you. Okay.
Right.
So if you're setting a business up, and I know personal training is a lot about the personal trainer, right?
Right.
If you don't have personal trainers working for you, you're not a personal trainer.
Yeah, and it's more or less I don't really see it as something that I'm going to ever do as a full-time job. I think it'll always be something I do as a hobby, more or less on the side, just to make some extra money. So
what's your degree in?
My degree is in business.
From where?
Northeastern University.
Okay. Is that Boston Northeastern?
Yes, that is Boston. I went on a track and field scholarship.
So that's a great business degree, correct?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. I mean, I would just tell you, I mean, it's dealer's choice, right? If you want to go in the Army, go. The chances that your wife or fiance makes it are probably about 15%, 20%.
Yeah.
So understand that, like, if you got engaged, you want to get married, but I mean, shit, the divorce rate 50% in normal America. So I wouldn't let that persuade you one way or the other.
Right.
What do you want to do in the Army?
So I know for a fact if I went in, I would 100% try to branch infantry and then go to, Ranger school and do that whole thing and try to end up in special forces captain. Before I went to college on a track scholarship. It was either go to college on a track scholarship, or my backup plan was that 18 X-ray contract.
Okay.
So
So then
that's
go do it. Like, I'll tell you this. Your life as a personal trainer, that stuff, like all that business stuff is always going to be there.
right.
You got Northeastern degree. That's a great degree. You know, you're always going to have opportunities for business.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the position I'm in now, with my 9 to 5 job, I literally have already left it and have come back to it. So I understand that, and being within that environment has kind of taught me that, no matter what, when you're working in in that field, no matter it be in the like it being fitness related, I tell people my job, I'm an operations manager, so it would be the same as if I was working at Walmart. It just so happens that it has to do with a gym. So I definitely have no emotional attachment to my current position. Like I said, the only thing that's holding me back from going in is just my relationship.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You got
Yeah.
about a 15% chance of keeping her. But hey, if you go in right now, right, when do they want you to leave for OCS or basic?
So I guess I'll find that out on Thursday when I go to MEPS.
Okay, so then the good thing is, this is the best part about it. She may leave you before you even get married. Then you got nothing to worry about, right? What did she say about signing up?
She honestly, she's very supportive. She's a very intelligent girl.
What does she do?
She's about to go to school to be an anesthesiology assistant. So
an assistant?
Yeah, it's basically a master's in anesthesiology.
Does she have a master's degree in nursing or a undergrad in nursing?
No, she has a undergrad in like she's pre-med. So it's basically a PA, but you're only doing anesthesia.
Yeah, I know the anesthesia world in America has changed because they used to have nurse anesthetists. The military still does. But
so
everybody
similar.
got pissed because they didn't. It was a money issue, right? Like they didn't feel like they should be making $300,000 with just a nursing degree. So
and she's gonna be making 200,000 straight out, with just a master's.
Where's she going to school at?
So she's still going through the application process. She's applied to Nova Southeastern, a school in Auburn, a school in Emory in Atlanta. That's her number one. And a school in Savannah, Georgia, because there's not many schools that actually have that program. It's a relatively new program. My sister, who is in medical school, told her about it because she was going to go and be a PA, but my sister was like, hey, if you become an AA, it's, you get paid just as much and you get to skip, like, I think it's like 2,000 hours of hands-on. So you don't need any of that for the application. So she's going to be able to do it a year sooner, basically.
And how long, like when you sign up as an officer, isn't it 4 years and 2 years in the reserves?
From what I understand, it's 6. It's 6 active.
Did they change it?
I'm not. There's so many different routes now. Like there's OCS to go National Guard, reserves, active, and then there's also this program where it's a sped up program.
It's 3 years, dude. It's 3 years, and then you owe them reserve time.
Okay.
So it's 4 years, 3 years.
Well, and here's the thing too: is she's working right now, and for the next year, she's going to her, how you have to interview and everything for those programs. So she's going to be doing that for the next year, and then she's going to be in school for 2 years after that. So it's either I'm going to be following her, or we're just gonna go and do our own things, and then if we work out, then we'll come back, and when we come back together, we'll both be very successful. Um, you know,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But you got to ask yourself, how important is it, right? I'm just being honest. Like, she got 3 years of Russian gulag right now in school. So you
right.
might be able to disappear and go do army shit for 3 years. And I just know this, that everything about it is hard. You're
Yeah,
going to go into Ranger school. You're going to talk to her like one time.
right.
You know, like you'll be gone for 2 months, 3 months. So you got to make the decision, right? Like, you got to decide, okay, I'm going to go play Greenie Weenie for a while. And if I lose her, I lose her.
Yeah,
Right. And it's not necessarily, I tell everybody, the reason the divorce rate is so high is because you're in the business of shooting people. And it's hard to explain to most people when you're in the business of shooting people. I mean, shit, one of the best sayings ever is there's no second place in a gunfight.
right.
So the logic changes from family first to I better give this job everything I can so that I don't finish second in a gunfight. And the logic becomes, if I'm dead, I don't have that relationship anyway. And that's the part that a lot of people miss because they're like, oh, you know, God will look after me or all that other shit. And I'm not arguing with none of it. The problem is when you get in the role, infantry platoon commander, whatever, you know, it's not quite as bad, right? But if you go SF, I mean, if your game ain't wired tight, even as the captain, bad things happen. Bad things happen. You don't get to see your family no more. And that's kind of the deal, right? You're going to have a bunch of type A dudes. You know, you mess up twice, they're going to relieve you. So, and that's the part that, like, you know, going in the military with luggage, a lot of times that luggage gets left, you
Yeah,
know?
no, that makes sense. That makes
So,
sense. And I think we're both still young enough that it's, you know, we don't have, I mean, I don't really have any luggage other than, and our relationship
you got
is
her. I'm talking about her as the luggage.
right.
Yeah. How old are you?
23,
How old is she?
21.
So I'm just going to tell you, between 21 and 26, a lot of shit changes.
Yeah.
So just understand that, right? Like, I don't recommend nobody get married at that age, personally. Not when you live in life. After 26, yeah. Prior to 26, crazy shit, man. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot has changed. I mean, in the last 3 years, a lot is going to change in the next 3 years, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you want to go back and get your MBA?
honestly, I had no plans of going back to school. Now, if I could get some of it paid for by the military, then I would definitely take advantage of that.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm not like you know, a school guy by any means.
Yeah. I mean, I just asked, like, to see. I mean, going in the military helps that. You know what I'm saying? Like, helps you get into
right.
to top tier business schools. You got a Northeastern degree. You got to go to a top tier business school to make the paper better. So,
Right.
I mean, I just think you got to make a decision, man. I wouldn't involve her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That's kind of like what I'm coming to realize is the more I incorporate her into the decision, the more I confuse myself.
like I wouldn't like the question you got to ask: am I willing to lose her? The next question you got to ask: if I'm willing to lose her, should I be married to her in the first place? Okay. And then the third question you got to ask is that really what you want to go do? Right?
Right.
Like, do I really want to go be an O1 in the military? Do I really want to go to, you know, OCS? Do I really want to go down the infantry pipeline? You know what I'm saying? If the answer isn't a resounding absolutely, like, I wouldn't go. Like I just talked to a dude yesterday. Just yesterday, talked to a guy that was in my buds class who's fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
he was asking me how things were going, and I said, dude, this year I've had 7 guys graduate from OCS. 7. Okay. And every one of those dudes was dying to go in the military. Okay. One of the guys left a massive job in college athletics to go be an entry officer in the Army. Like, he walked away from a great career and he was like, no, I'm going to go be an infantry officer in the Army. And he loves it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, every day he feels like he done won the prize of the century because the money ain't going to do it.
Right.
Right. You gotta want to be out there in the bushes. You gotta want to be out there with the ticks. And if that's
100%.
not, in the makeup or part of the reason, then, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't involve her in the decision. I would just be like, is this what I really want to do?
Right.
And if you really wanted to do it 4 months ago, I would say nothing should have changed. So then I might go back on, well, maybe you didn't really want to go do it 4 months ago.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think it was more so when I got denied the first time, I felt like there was a really strong disconnect between like what I was capable of and what the military saw that I was capable of. I mean, on paper and my interview, I was told I interviewed in Georgia, and
Okay.
the highest ranking officer in that interview told me it was the best interview he had ever sat in on his entire career as an officer.
Okay.
And I was, oh, awesome. I'm 100%, I'm a shoo-in, so I left my job. I was like, yep, doing this. And a couple months went by and I got the results back and I got a phone call. Yeah, you didn't get an offer. So it was just like,
so understand this. A lot of officer boards are dictated on location. Okay. So let's say you were in Georgia and there was 400 people apply for OCS in Georgia and they only had 25 jobs.
right.
Okay. I mean, if you can't handle a little adversity and denial, then I probably wouldn't go in the military. All right. Like, and the reason I say that is because a lot of times the shit don't make no sense.
Yeah.
It don't. Right. Like, I mean, trust me, I got all these pilots that got 3.7 GPAs and the Air Force is turning them away.
Right.
Okay. No, not exactly what we're looking for. No, black females, Hispanic males, black males, hell, even my Caucasian guys, same shit. Right. And so I finally got to talk to a guy on the inside in the Air Force. He said, listen, Jake, he said, we make it really hard to even get through the first 5 wickets to go fly in the Air Force. And I said, why though? He said, because we don't have any problems recruiting.
Right.
I was like, you only have 13 fucking black females. You have a fucking problem out of 17,000 pilots, right? And you know what his answer was? That's not important to us. Right? We want, if you can't get through the first 5 hurdles that are stupid, then you're not our type of person. Right? And it really resonated with me because I was just like, okay, all right. But you see, here's the problem you have. And this is what's a little bit different. I tell everybody, if you are a very, very successful person, okay, like yourself, right, and you're not appreciated, the first thing you're going to say is, fuck it, I'll go do something else. And that's the part that everybody doesn't understand. Like military's missing on a good dude, right? They don't understand that 4 months later, you're not interested no more. You done moved on, right? Because you're a talented dude, right? And that's the part they don't miss because they just look at numbers. They don't look at the overall, right, good deals. So I tell everybody, like, shit, you take an African American female with a mechanical engineering degree and a 3.8 GPA, all she got is options. So she comes to you to fly in the Air Force and you make it incredibly hard for her just to figure out how she applies.
Right.
She's like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to take this engineering degree. I got a job offer for 180 right here.
Right. And yeah, and actually, it's funny you bring that up because it seems like every, it's just hurdle after hurdle because like they're going to send me to MEPS, but they're not going to, I'm in Florida right now. They're not going to send me to Tampa MEPS, which is 30 minutes away. They want to try to get me to go to they actually aren't, they say you have to go to the Jacksonville MEPS, which is 4.5 hours away. They're like, you have to get there. You have to drive there yourself. And
but that's because you applied in Jacksonville. Did you apply in Jacksonville?
No, I didn't.
This is off the board in Georgia?
It's off the board in Georgia, moved down to Florida, but then I got a call. These people are out of Texas.
Man, I mean, like I said, either you want it or you don't want it. Right.
And
because I would tell you, if you really wanted it, you wouldn't care about 4-hour drive. I just 100%. Drove 12 hours on Friday.
100%. No, I agree for sure.
I drove to Brownsville and back in a box truck, 12 hours. Okay. Yep. Had to pick up some marble. Just what it was, right? I wasn't happy about it, but, had to do what I had to do to get what I wanted.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I mean, when you're talented, they don't understand that, right? Because, but that's the other reason why they hurting on numbers.
Yep.
So, and that might have something to do with why they called you back. Like, oh shit, we're hurting, or this is the other thing that could have happened. The guy that said this is the best interview looked you up on the board and saw that you didn't get selected. And he picked the phone up and was like, hey, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And then they gave you one.
They told me that because I asked him, I was like, what changed? Why did you guys call me? Why am I getting it now? And they said that there was too many people that got offered a contract and didn't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
So then they, instead of waiting for everybody to go through their boards, they basically just contacted the people who they believed were worthy of getting one, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. But see, don't worry about all that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I tell everybody, I don't ever worry about how I got somewhere. I just worry about what I'm going to do when I get there. You 100%. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think you just got to sit down and do some soul searching. I would go through the process. And then, I wouldn't let money be the determining factor. Because I tell everybody, I don't care. Like my boy Steve Bellick says it best. I'm not in no rush to get out the Navy when I'm flying this F-18. That's $80,000 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush to go fly the school bus. Just not in a rush, right? He said, when I get out, I'll never get to do this stuff again. When you get out, you ain't gonna be able to shoot large rockets and Carl Gustavs and the M60. You're not gonna be able to do that no more. You're not gonna go on helicopter rides where you jump out of helicopters and planes for free,
Right.
And so that's why, yeah, you're getting paid money, but the job is more important than the cost or the income that you're getting.
Yeah, no, because the amount of money I'm making now, I mean, I wouldn't be making any more. So it's, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be joining the military for the money.
Yeah. So what else you got for me? What are the questions?
Not much, man. Honestly, I like you said, it just comes down to, I just need to make a decision. And, just once I make that decision, not half-ass it, just do it. And
the other thing is get ready for the shenanigans, right? Like, I have 3 of my dudes finish first in boot camp, 3 of them. Like 100% committed to going in there and just being awesome, right? Then one of them finished first in OCS, the other one finished second. Okay. Like one of the other dudes, everybody else didn't place at OCS. My female finished 3rd at TBS, right? So I don't want you to like, I don't know if it's chasing a dream as much as like an opportunity, right? Like you got to think this is the best thing in the world for you or don't take it.
Okay.
Because how much money you making right now? How much you making all in right now?
After taxes, between 4,000 and 5,000 a month.
Okay, so you ain't making fucking crazy money. So that ain't
No,
it. Just go. I mean, I would say if you want to go, go. Because you'll be making that much in fucking a year.
right.
Paychecks would be like $2,000 a paycheck after taxes. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let that be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
All right, big dog.